Welcome. Today we're going to talk about a strategy. In fact, three strategies that will help you figure out exactly what you need to be doing in life, that will help to give you direction, that will help to give you clarity and focus. Maybe you don't really, maybe you're kind of confused about like what type of business to start or get involved in, or maybe you're just overwhelmed and stressed out because there's so much information about different business opportunities out there. You don't know what to actually listen to and to actually take to heart. Or maybe you don't have a lot of money or you have no money and you are looking for a strategy to try to figure out, well, what do I need to get involved in from a business perspective to help myself and my family get ahead. Or maybe you've already reached some level of success and you're trying to figure out, well, how do I get to the next level? Or maybe you're just looking to figure out exactly, what do I need to do in life? I have an idea of what I'm interested in, but I don't really know. And I need some advice. I need some expertise, or I just need a different perspective, a different opinion. Well, today I'm going to talk about three strategies that will help you align your skills, your strengths with what you need to tap into, okay? And before I do that, though, I want to tell you a quick story about this young teenage boy that I happen to know really well. When he was 19 years old, he had the opportunity, he had a really tough upbringing. In fact, he had had a lot of loss. He was putting himself through school, working his way through. He was a first generation college graduate eventually, but he had had a tough life, and he had the chance to speak on a leadership platform with the Napoleon Hill Foundation with some of the leadership greats like W. Clement Stone. And he was invited to speak there, and it was a huge privilege for him. But the next day, he felt completely empty. He felt hurt. He felt distraught. And a mentor shows up to his house, and he was sitting on the couch reading a book, a Napoleon Hill book, to candlelight. He couldn't even afford to keep the electric on, okay? And this mentor showed up and asked, why the long face? What's going on? What's wrong? You did a really good job yesterday. Why are you upset? And the young man went on to explain that he was hurt because no one showed up to watch him. None of his family, none of his friends. All of these people who he thought were there to support him in his life, they didn't even show up to listen to him speak for an opportunity like that. And in that moment, I can tell you, the guy felt lost. I know, because that guy was me. Okay? And in that moment, that mentor went on to explain three things that I'm going to share with you today. And if I hadn't learned these three things at that point in my life, I wouldn't be where I am today. I can tell you that. So I would really encourage you to take out a pen, take out some paper, write this down, because this can change your life. Okay? It can give you perspective that you've never even considered before. Okay? So I highly recommend that you tap into this. Okay? So what the mentor went on to explain is that it didn't really matter what other people thought. It didn't really matter if nobody was there to support you. Because ultimately in life, you got to do things on your own. You got to step up to the plate. If you want to hit a grand slam, you gotta work every single day. And it doesn't matter if somebody's on your team or not. You still got to do it if you want to reach success. And he told me in that moment, the thing to focus on is not other people, but is to focus on three things that I want to point out on this board, okay? The first thing is strengths. What are your strengths? What strengths do you have? So my encouragement is that you create a category and you write down 10 strengths that you have. You be brutally honest with yourself. And maybe you have a parent or someone who knows you really well that can give you insight or just candid feedback, constructive feedback about your strengths. And you write down 10 strengths here, okay? To try to save time, I've gone ahead and written out 5 things for each category that apply to me personally. 5 strengths that I've identified are people skills. I love working with people, and I love communicating, and I love forecasting and learning trends, and I love to listen to people, and I love to build things. Okay, so these are 5 things on my list of strengths, and I've had a much larger list, but I've condensed it down. So what you're going to want to do after you have a list of about 10 days, you're going to want to go through and rank them. So in other words, like, how good of a people person do I think I am? Well, I think I'm a pretty good people person. I love working with people, so I'm going to give myself a 9. Okay, communication, I'll give an 8.5. Forecasting, I love it. I'll give myself a 9. I've had big success there. Listening, I'm going to give myself an 8. Building, I like to build. I'm going to give myself an 8. So then you're going to move on from strengths. Then you're going to focus on this other category called free. Okay, what do I mean by free? What I mean by free is in this category, I want you to write down 10 things that you would do for free. In other words, you're not going to get paid for it. Maybe it's riding a bike. Maybe it's playing video games or watching movies. Maybe it's, for me, learning, inventing, family. In other words, spending time with my family. There's nothing more important to me than spending time with my family. I enjoy serving folks, and I enjoy travel. So those things were on my short list here. Again, you're going to want to write out a list. You're going to really want to spend some time in deep introspection. I mean, you're going to want to jump in and really think about yourself. Think about what you would do for free, because these things ultimately are your passions. Okay, so you got strengths here, you got passions here. So then you're going to label this area too. So I love learning. So I'm going to put a 9 there. I love inventing. I'm going to put an 8. Family, 10. Love hanging out with the family. It's very important to me. And serving, I'm going to put 8. Travel, I'm going to put 8. Okay, so I've identified these top areas. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to narrow in the specific areas that I rank the highest. Okay? And you're going to want to spend some time figuring out, where do you really rank the highest? Because that's where you want to focus in on. That's where you want to hone in on. Okay? So for me, people, I love working with people. I love forecasting. And you're going to want to pick about 2 things from each category. Strengths 2, and over here 2. So learning, I love to learn. And family. I love hanging out with my family. Having time with my family. Okay? So then the last category is probably one of the most critical categories. Okay? This category I call the trend category. Okay? Or the opportunities category. Okay? And in this category, actually what you're going to do is it's important to familiarize yourself with as many different trends as you can. As many different growing needs, market gap type needs, or maybe human behavior type things, or studies, or areas where you can focus in on and take advantage of if you plug into. Okay? So that list is always changing, and it's important to stay on top of it. Okay? So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to identify at least 10 trends that you should plug into. I personally plug into a lot more trends than that. I've conducted over 30,000 hours over the last decade about different trends to plug into, because trends are my thing. I love to forecast, I love strategy, and I love learning. So for me personally, one of the trends that I plugged into here is home. What do I mean by home? Okay, what I actually mean is home-based businesses. Okay, I think that home-based businesses, there's a huge opportunity for them right now. Why? Okay, a couple reasons. Forbes has done a survey and found that over the last decade, home-based businesses have risen by 28%. Okay, huge growth there. People are more engaged when they're at home, working around their family and having time with their family. And even entrepreneurs who start businesses today, 69% are starting them at home. The day of the brick and mortar business is over. People are going bankrupt all the time now who have brick and mortar businesses, okay? So you need to think about a home-based business, okay? So for me, I wanted to be at home. I wanted to work at home. I'm actually home now, enjoying the beauty that surrounds me at my lake house, and working right outside of my office. My office is right in there. Okay, this is my view. So I'm gonna put for home 10 because it's critically important to me that I have a chance to work from home. Okay, pets. One trend that I like to think about is pets. See, the more that people are staying home, what's happening is the less they're socializing with other people. Even though we're more connected, we're socializing less. As a result of that, we're actually humanizing our pets more and more. Okay? So, as a result of that, the pet industry over this last year was worth over $60 billion. Okay? So, one of the businesses that I've done, speaking of which, my dog just walked by, that I personally started and invested in is a company that invents and invests in pet products. Okay, I have multiple pet products to take to market that I've taken to market, and so the pet industry is ripe. Okay, and I personally wanted to tap into that industry. Okay, Forbes actually did a study and found that Americans right now, 62% of Americans, 62% have a pet, okay? Now, to make that even better, 90% of Americans consider their pet to be like a family member. Hey, Dozer, come here. It's pretty crazy that, hey, baby, it's pretty crazy that people consider their pets to be like a family member, but it's real, okay? And the best part about the pet industry is growing the fastest in emerging markets globally. So in other words, the markets around the world that have the most disposable dollars to spend. Okay, so I have pets down as another trend that I wanted to plug into. So home pets is important, but not the top priority for me. So I still put an 8.5. Okay, video, digital. What do I mean by that? Okay. Just to give you a little bit of perspective right now, video is growing more and more every year. In fact, Forbes did a survey, and people who responded said that they have actually, 80% of respondents say that they watch more video this year than they did last year. So people are consuming more on video. Thus is the reason I'm making this video here today for you. And video is really important. So why, if I like, how is that a trend that anybody can tap into? Well, there's a lot of different opportunities there. Okay, just to put that into perspective, let's think about a company that I invested in almost 2 years ago that has a patent, has almost 700 different patents around different products that are used in the video industry. Okay. Do you realize that right now in Moscow and in Japan, they're even creating video-based billboards that will put out a specific message to a specific vehicle that's driving by, okay? Video is becoming more and more intuitive. All technology is, but this company has controls the market for something called GPUs, okay? These GPUs, it's a company out of California. It's a publicly traded company. I bought them when they were close to, $27, okay? In the last year, their value has gotten up to about $180, okay? The reason I say that is because anybody can plug in to a trend like that, to a company like that. All you need to do is be intentional about being aware of what is out there and the possibilities. The name of that company, by the way, is called NVIDIA. If you want to check it out, I would encourage you to do that. But anyway, video is a huge, very rapidly growing market. Okay, YouTube is the #2 search engine in the entire world right now. Okay, I also have digital here because digital products are the future. I mean, look at a company like ClickFunnels. Russell Brunson created this company, and if you follow it, you'll see that since they started, they already have over 41,000 monthly paying subscribers, and he's valuing the company at like $10 billion, okay? So, and a lot of it focuses on digital products and sales funnels, okay? Digital products are the future, okay? A mentor of mine, a personal, really good friend, He quit his job as a international tax attorney, getting paid a lot of money to stay home and create digital products that he sells online. And he is retired now, multi-millionaire, doing quite well for himself. And I would just encourage you to consider digital products, okay? One of the cool thing about digital products is it's something that you can do from home, okay? It's something that you can tap into. And so that's one trend that I've paid attention to particularly. Another area that I like to think about is health, okay? Health, what do I mean by that? Well, obviously the healthcare industry or health market is huge. There's a lot of different potential opportunities there. Just as an example, if you pay attention to trends, health-related trends, you would recognize things like this new startup that's been around for now a couple of years, but they've been developing it called Nemo's Garden. It's a company that has created these capsules that are under the sea and have the ability to grow organic produce. Okay, they use less water, they use no pesticides, a much more stable environment for growing produce. Okay, well, not that I'm suggesting you go out and invest in that company, but what I'm saying is there's constantly all kinds of trends that you need to pay attention to. For me personally, one of the health-related things that I've tapped into is tapping into real estate around certain health businesses. Okay, what do you mean by that, Jared? You might ask. Okay, I'm glad you asked, because one of the things that I've personally done is tapped into two different things. Okay, if you look at Trader Joe's, okay, Trader Joe's real estate located within a mile of Trader Joe's over the last decade have increased 40% in value compared to the national average is 36%. So there gives you a percent gain over the national average. To make that even better, if you were to tap into another more health conscious type business like a Starbucks, you realize that Starbucks, homes or properties located within a quarter mile of Starbucks, okay, a study came out by Reality Track that says that between 1997 and 2015, okay, it actually goes on to say that that real estate value has gone up by 96% if you're located within a quarter mile of a Starbucks. That is compared nationally to half of that. So, in other words, if you have bought or if you own real estate around really close to Starbucks or Trader Joe's, then your property is appreciating faster than other people's properties. Why is that important? I'm going to tell you why it's important, okay? One of the reasons this is important is that as you're considering different trends, you think about something that I like to call layering of trends, okay? So for me personally, what I've done on the real estate front is like I would target a property that's near Trader Joe's, that's near a Starbucks, but even in addition to that, to take advantage of even more layers of trends, I would target a property right now. There's 60.6 million Americans living in multi-generational housing right now. So I would target a home that has the ability to be used for multi-generational housing. I would also target a property that is around a transportation hub. So as gentrification takes place around cities, suburban areas are increasing in value the fastest because people are getting pushed out of the cities and they need a place to live. So I've looked for properties around transportation arteries. Okay, so what I mean by layering of trends is if you can target one specific property to use for this example that aligns multiple different trends together, then your likelihood for success drastically increases. Okay, so that's not rocket science, but it is important that you familiarize yourself with as many different trends as you can. Because if you tap into those things, you can recognize opportunities that the rest of the people in the world are not recognizing, folks. You can plug into them. So I go to, let's see, for digital and video, I'm going to give myself an 8. And for health, I've invested in a lot of different health related things, so I'm going to give myself a 9. And students, okay, it's not all about making money. Okay, some of us might want to create more of a socially conscious type of an enterprise, and that's okay. That's great. We all have different niches that we want to pursue, and that's what this whole strategy is about. It allows all of us to hone in on exactly the niche that we should pursue. Okay, so I have here student. I'll put students. Okay, because for me personally, it's been a calling to work with youth. It's been a ministry that I've tapped into personally, and why? Okay. Well, do you realize that students right now, if you pay attention to trends, the suicide rate amongst middle school age students in the last decade has doubled. There's more peer pressure than ever before, more bullying than ever before. People are entering puberty sooner than ever before, and 9 out of 10 men, young men under the age of 18, and 6 out of 10 girls under 18 have been exposed to pornography, which is changing the chemistry of our young minds, okay? These are things that people aren't teaching us in the education system today. For me personally, like I said, I've had a calling to students. So I'm going to give myself an 8 here, because it is a trend that I like to pay attention to. I like to help out in that regard, okay? So then, after you have all of your areas numbered, you're going to go through and you're going to pick out the highest or most important areas to you personally, okay? So all of these things are important to me, and I'm personally implementing them all. But if you're just getting started, my encouragement is that you only focus on a couple trends as you're just getting started. Once you understand how to plug in and to take advantage of different trends, and layer them together, then you might apply more. But start with only 1 or 2. So for me, let's say home. All right. Again, can you create a home-based business or home-based opportunity where you learn, you can spend time around your family, you can forecast. In other words, as I was collecting over 30,000 hours of research about trends, I never thought, so I was doing that for speaking engagements. Okay, I wasn't in for my coaching career and for working with billion-dollar clients and mom and pop business owners and even in some case individuals. I never knew that I was going to take all that information and put it together in one place. But again, the mentor that I had in my life that is creating these digital products came to me and said, you need to be sharing this. You need to create a product out of this, okay? So digital products was an area that I've tapped into. And then even in addition to that, on the home base, I actually now have a franchise-like business that I'm able to use to teach other people how to stay home and make money from home with a business-in-the-box system, okay? Which is unbelievable, folks. It will blow your mind. But my point is you need to pay attention to different trends. But to get back on track, what you're going to want to do, folks, is you are going to want to come up with the top areas. So I'm going to put health. Really, all these areas are relevant for me, but I'm going to put health and home, family, learning, people, forecasting. And then what you're going to want to do, the ingredients that will give you the direction, that will give you exactly what it is you need to be thinking about doing, that will tell you what to focus on from a niche perspective, is you're going to take all of those things and where they converge. So in other words, the top areas from each areas, you're going to want to converge all those together. So morph them together or line them together. And that, my friends, will give you the answer to your question. That will give you an idea of what it is you should be doing. Okay? I really wish that I learned this much sooner. But I can tell you, I use this multiple times every single year now. Why? because it helps to keep me focused. It helps to keep me aligned. It helps to keep me moving towards areas of opportunity. I would encourage you to move towards areas of opportunity. If you like the information that has been shared with you today, guys, please leave a comment. Give me a thumbs up, like the page, or subscribe to it, okay? I'm excited about sharing a lot more information with the Entrepreneur Outlook. And if you want more information, again, subscribe. Click below, click to the side, and subscribe, okay? Again, I would encourage you right now, pull out a piece of paper, pull out a pen, start writing down 10 strengths, 10 passions, or 10 things you do for free, and start familiarizing yourself with as many trends as you can get your hands on, okay? So that you can determine exactly how you can maximize your success. Have a great day. Thanks for spending your time with me here today, and God bless you.